We're getting there. We're getting there. Happy Monday. If you're watching on a replay, put it in the comments. Let us know. Hashtag replay. Get myself situated here. I have my fairly easy knitting that I brought to Chicago with me. And of course, I didn't actually glance at the pattern to see what row I'm on to know if it's something I can work on right now or not. But that's okay. I have my notes. I have things to tell you guys about. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to pop on. Hi, E. Hi, Noel. I have so much to talk about. I had to kind of narrow down what I was going to focus on today. We'll see how well I do with that. You guys know me, I ramble. Noelle, is it getting like crazy hot by you already? It was kind of crazy hot here. I think it got up to 80. Oh, my watch says it's 80 still outside. Hi, Joyce. Nicole finishing the squared up jacket. Awesome. Hi, Stacy, working on your tank top. Very cool. Holly working on a cardigan for Rue. Just wants Jason Momoa cardigan. Awesome. Hi, Mama. Yeah, I put this on because it was nice and warm outside and in my house, and then I got here and it was a little bit it's a little bit chilly in here. So I hope the blowers aren't too loud and too fuzzy in the background. Hi, Oriana. Triple digits by Wednesday. Whew. Yeah, I mean I like warm weather, but I like warm weather I can actually be out in and do stuff in clearly. That's what I spent the last couple days doing. Um, Although we were over in Lexington to visit mom and dad yesterday and it was 10 degrees colder over there. So we were not outside. Hi, Linda. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm trying not to itch. I'm a little bit itchy. I got a little bit too much sun today. Thank you, babe. So welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is Monday, May 12th. Happy May, since I wasn't live last week. My name is Kristen. I am the owner of the little yarn shop located in Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Marketplace hours as a whole are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our shop is Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Plus, Deb and Ashley host drop-in knitting Monday nights up in the front lobby. It's $10. If there is an issue with locked doors, call the shop or try different doors because they are in the front lobby. We're used to parking back by the farmers market pavilion and then coming in that side door. But with Goose Tooth being closed at the moment, the building pretty much locks up at 5. So we're trying to keep an eye on that and make sure that the door is propped open for you who come. But we may or may not be successful at that. Hi, Mary. Mama says Aunt Jackie's on. Hi, Aunt Jackie. Warm one, working on the waffle pullover. Yeah, it was so warm. I didn't even work on, well, I did work on the knitting. Once I moved into the shade, then I worked on my knitting a little bit. But when I was in the sun, I just wanted to bask in it today. Hi, Sherry. Thank you. Yes, I am back. I am back from Chicago, and Deb and I left Tuesday morning and we were scheduled to come back Friday. We ended up coming back Thursday afternoon. The market was, so we went to a trade show in Chicago at the Stevens Convention Center. It was huge. It was a lot. It was overwhelming, but I got a lot of really cool stuff, made some new connections, which I teased a little bit last week in some posts. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. Hi, Fran. So let's see, where should we start? First, wearing the typo top. So this top is made with um Universal Yarns bamboo pop sock. So it's their fingering sock weight of bamboo and cotton and nylon. Great for socks for people that don't like wool. Hi, Jackie. Playing yarn chicken. Ooh, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Went to the casino with my cousins, two of us won. Yay. Very cool. So ice cream is always a good way to celebrate, Holly. So the typo top is really fun. It's top-down construction, I think. Yeah, so you cast on at the shoulders with a provisional cast on, and the purpose of that is so you can try it on once it's done and adjust the length of the straps if you decide you want to. But it's kind of a sampler, so it I knit it the way it's written for a few different stitch patterns, but it's really easy. And this one was a fun one because I chose the yarn colors using our indecision dice that we have here. So you all kind of helped me lean into using the indecision dice to pick out colors. And I did. I really like how it turned out. So it's two colors of bamboo pop sock. Pretty much one skein of each color is all you need, even if you don't want to do, it's kind of a cropped top. Even if you wanted to do a full length, the bamboo pop sock has almost 500 yards in a ball. So it's a pretty good size for, pretty good amount of yarn for any size that you were to do of this tank top. And many of you know, I like the bamboo pop sock for a summer top. It's nice and lightweight, feels nice and cool. I have another top, the summer trellis done out of the bamboo pop sock, and I don't tend to wear it on the lives because it's white and it kind of like reflects the light a lot when I wear it. When I'm doing lives, but it's a really comfortable one. When I went to Mexico a couple of years ago, it was my favorite one to wear there. Plus, it makes me look even more tan. So that's what I'm wearing. What did I finish? I finished nothing while I was gone. I am working on a couple projects. I can only show you one. I cast on and got started on my shop sample, one of the shop samples, I think, of the Marie Green 4-day knit along. So I can't talk too much about it yet because she hasn't started teasing it out to the public. But May 1st, she did make the pattern available to shop owners that wanted a sample and promote yarn. I can tell you it's a DK pattern in 3 colors. And you pretty much need 1 skein each of 2 colors and 2 or 3 skeins of a 3rd color. DK, heavy sport, light worsted. She's got some notes in there about if you wanted to play around with the yarn that you're using a little bit, that's where you can do it. No stranded color work, top down, pull over. I can tell you that much. The timeline, I don't think she put it in. Let me see if she put it in the pattern notes. This is the 9th year that she's done it, which is kind of fun that there's only one that I didn't do. Maybe someday I'll go back and do that one just so I have a full collection. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have the timeline in the sample that she sent out to us, not in that PDF anyways, but fairly soon, usually mid to the end of this month, she'll start promoting and teasing some of the photos and themes. So once that happens, I can talk about it a little more. I can tell you the colors that I'm going to use. And it's 3 colors of the new colors of Tilly. So Barocco Tilly is a yarn that we've had for, I think, 2 years. And this year they came out with solids. So in the past, each of the colors had kind of like a black thread running through it. And this time the colors don't have that. So some of the colors are similar. They just don't have that black thread. So they're more of just a tonal color. So this is the main color that I'm using for the body, for the majority of the body of my shop sample. This color is called Celtic Blue. And Tilly is a sport DK, well, DK weight, they call it. Pima cotton and Cupro, which is a recycled cotton byproduct. So it's cotton and cotton. It does have a really nice drape to it. 100 grams, 375 yards. For a DK weight yarn, that's really, really great yardage too. The next, how do I want to word it? I guess I would say the contrast color. Normally starts discussing it Memorial Weekend. That would make sense. And then it starts, the cast on is on the 4th of July this year because I think the 4th of July is on a Friday and it's kind of a long weekend project. So my contrast color is pistachio. Again, one of the new colors. And I'll show you all the new colors that we have here in stock. One of them, a bag of it didn't even make it out on the shelf before it disappeared. It was purple. So pistachio. So these two are kind of my primary two colors. And then it calls for a pop of a third color. And I'm using this Cinnabar color. It's like a vibrant, fiery orange. So there will be a little bit of this mixed in with the green and blue. For the most part, though, it'll be the greens and blues, which will be absolutely gorgeous. And I'll show you the other project I'm working on in a minute because I only needed a small amount of this pop of color. I'm knitting a shawl with the rest of it. I know, Linda, they're absolutely gorgeous. We will be doing helping people put together colors for their sweaters. And there's another yarn that I'm looking at from Earth Yarns that is a cotton linen blend that is supposed to be on its way to me soon from Turkey. I talked to them when we were in Chicago last week and it had not shipped yet because they were waiting for some other parts of a back ordered shipment to come in. So that's why I say this might be the first of two of the shop samples that I do, but we'll see. You guys know me. I don't like to finish the first time, let alone the second time. What I can say is I thought I was done with what I thought was the only fun part of this sweater, but that's not necessarily the case. So what I thought was going to be just boring stockinette does have a little bit of something to it to keep me entertained. So I am looking forward to finishing that top. It's taken me more than 4 days, which is okay because I also have a life and we assume that you all do too. We don't expect that you're going to knit this sweater in 4 days. If you do, that's awesome. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. So other of the new colors of Tilly, there's this beautiful corally color they call strawberry. There's this gorgeous gold they call amber. And it does kind of remind me of amber. This is cream, but it's not a solid. You can see there are some lights and darks in there. And so for my size, for my sweater, the sample that I'm working on, I probably will need 2 skeins of my blue. I am not alternating skeins. I'm just going to knit through one and knit through the other. I did that with the pink Tilly when I did Jenna, and you couldn't really see where I changed skeins. I'm hoping that will be the case with this, but we'll see. And then there is Jade, this beautiful green, blue green. And these run $25.50 a skein. And mulberry is also gorgeous. I think there are at least 2 other colors that I don't have here because they didn't make it out. Hi, Sheila. So yeah, Sherry, the colors are just absolutely beautiful. This one, this is not even the purpliest one. There was another purple that was just as beautiful. So I can show you kind of how it knits up with that, the cinnabar color. So this was my little pop of color that I needed in my top. I didn't need a whole lot of it. So I'm working on the Neato scarf. And it's so nice and vibrant and bright. So this is what I have so far. Color's kind of getting blown out a little bit on my computer because it's so bright. But you can see there are a little bit of lights and dark spots in there. So this section is all just stockinette. And then there are some drop stitches. You drop them as you're knitting, which I think is kind of fun. Hi, Teresa. So there are these little wedges that you create. It's a really easy pattern to memorize once you get going. The drop stitches happen every repeat. And then you can just, and this yarn has a silky feel to it. So it's kind of fun to pull those drop stitches and get them to drop down. But it's a bias scarf. It can be a one skein project. I think it would also be a great one to modify for any different weight of yarn. You would just have to change your needle size. So I'm on 7s, I think, sixes. And yeah, I worked on this just while we were waiting in line. You saw some pictures while we were waiting Tuesday night for Sample It, the first event in Chicago at H&H. And then as I had time, whether we were waiting, sitting in lectures or waiting for things, I didn't have a whole lot of time to work on it. So it went pretty quickly up to this point. But one of the other reasons I wanted to show this off was in my pictures, you also saw me using my mini minder. So these are from Lemonwood. We've carried them here in the shop in the past. This one though, there's something really, really cool about it. So Lemonwood is the company. They are out of Arizona. They're owned by Veronica Van, who used to be the owner of Dream in Color. She sold Dream in Color to Madeline Tosh a couple years back, but she kept and they had already started Lemonwood, she and her son, and so she kept going with that, and now that's their focus. So these mini minders hold a traditional 100-gram skein of yarn, hangs on your wrist, or it can hang off the counter. Deb and I had the walker with us, which came in really handy between her bum knee and my bum hip. And I could hang it off the handle of the walker if we were sitting or standing and I didn't want to hang it on my wrist. My wrists, my arms are not that great. My muscle strength is not that great. So sometimes they have it hanging off something else. It works really well, but they use real leather for the straps and really high quality hardware on there where there's no snagging. It's just seamless and smooth if you need to pull this. They are working on a fun little prototype we got to see that would make this able to transition to a tabletop Lazy Susan sort of thing. They are not out yet, but coming out soon. I have a few of these in different prints. I was able to get just a handful of one-offs here and there that we will have here in the shop. This one though, I'm going to take my yarn off because I want to show it to you guys. And all of these pieces come apart. So they all have removable clips. The strap comes off. This circular piece is also carabiner that comes off. And this is what's great about these is if they're not in use, everything can store flat because the yarn comes off. Got stuck a little bit there. And these two pieces come apart and can lay flat. So I'm showing you the bottom on purpose because, and I apologize for Facebook because it used to have a feature where I could mirror things so things weren't backwards. And I can't, they took that feature away. So if this is backwards, I apologize. But on the part that goes up, it says, I love yarn. You see how cute that is? Even more fun is on this part. It's like a yarn store one. So it's got a yarn store on here. It's got, it's like a little neighborhood one. It also has a find and seek sort of thing. It comes with a little card that says different things, but it's got a hardware store, a 24-hour diner, what looks like a little bank. And I got this as a sample before I went to Chicago last week. And I looked at it and then I looked again. And then I looked again. And then I texted Veronica, the owner, and said, does this say what I think it says? So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but down this purple building, can you guys see? Well, I don't know if it's going to come in. YouTube's looking fuzzy. Facebook, you might be able to see it a little more clearly. But do you see where it says beans right there? And it's a bunny. And it actually says Saginaw above it. It says Saginaw Beans. It's the Beans Tower. They did not. I did not ask them to make these. I I thought maybe I was going crazy because you know how it's like you buy a red Jeep and then you see red Jeeps everywhere and you think that that's just the like you think you're seeing things. It's not. That's really the Saginaw Beans Tower. So when Veronica still was owned Dream in Color, um we had a trunk show here and we hosted her. She and her son came with suitcases full of yarn. We opened them up and it was a lot of fun. And they kind of toured the Midwest by car. And her son, Calm, fell in love with this area and has always been fascinated with the Beans Tower. If you're not local, they're right across the river from where we are, used to be the world's largest dry bean elevator, like a grain elevator, but for beans. And their logo was like a jackrabbit, a bunny, and it said in big neon letters, beans across it. What's even more cool and takes this full circle is the first custom color that we had Dream in Color do for us was the Saginaw Sunset color that was taken from here over the river with the Beans Tower in the background. Unfortunately, with the construction of the new high school across the river, they tore the Beans Tower down. It's not there anymore. It's a super bummer, but I am taking pre-orders for these. I will be getting them in the shop. I don't imagine that they're going to stay for long. It depends on how many I'm able to order, but they are going to make these, they make them to order for us. So I think it's really cool that it's an I Love Yarn one, and right across from the yarn store is the Beans Tower, and it's purple, even better. So, I mean, these are just really cool in general, but to have one that has the Saginaw Beans Tower on, I think is even cooler. So, and so that's how they come. They come packaged like this, everything flat. This piece goes through. Your yarn sits on there, just straight up through the center. If you generally pull from the center like I do, this is not what you're going to want to do. This is designed to be when you're pulling from the outside of a ball of yarn. The clip clips right on and you're ready to go. So like I said, I've got a few here in the shop that are different designs. This one I am taking pre-orders for if you want to ensure that you get one when they come in. They are $40 a piece for now until I hear the price is going up. That's going to kind of be my my standard tagline for a lot of things these days is this is the price it is until they tell me otherwise. And I expect that a lot of things are changing. There was quite a bit of discussion about that in Chicago at the trade show. I do know the prices of needles are going up. Our needles are either made in, for the most part, India or China. Chiagu needles, the company itself, Westing Bridge is the parent company and they are out of Troy, Michigan, but their owner Leon Zhang is Chinese. And why did that just do that at me? I don't know. I'm hoping everything's okay. My Facebook feed just kind of faded at me for a minute. Leon has the needles manufactured in China. Right now they have put, they're doing a 15% increase that is taking effect pretty much right away. Knit Pro and Knitter's Pride has a 25% increase, I think. So prices on things are going up. And the more I talk to people, the more I think a lot of products are going to, that's going to be the case. So just as kind of a heads up to all of you, the only, and maybe I mentioned this before, the only company that I've spoken to that has said specifically that their prices are not increasing at this point is Earth Yarns. And as a matter of fact, one of their newer yarns, they have a really cool yarn they call Spiral Grain that looks a lot like the Spin Cycle yarns. They actually reduced the price on it, which I think is kind of a cool thing. So other than that, pretty much every vendor I talk to is saying their prices are going to go up on things. So we'll take it as we can. Okay, so what else is new in the shop? We have May's color, pop-up club color from Dream in Color. I did just post about that before I went live, so you may or may not have seen it, but it's called Acrid. It's this beautiful, like a clear sky blue with some yellowy gold, a little bit of flecks of orange and brown in there. Smushy cashmere, 4 ounces, 400 yards, merino cashmere nylon. As always, the are 36. If you are part of this club, we've got yours set aside and it is here for you with your name on it. But we do have extras. And I forgot to check with my rep initially when Dream in Color was its own company. This would have been the last month of this club. I'm not sure if they're continuing it, kind of like Mad Tosh does their Hue of the Moment every month. I need to find that out. As far as I know, this is the last month of the pop-up club though. Any yarns with a gold label are limited edition yarns. Primarily for, if it says pop-up club, that means any store that has it has to be participating in all of the pop-up club colors, and not every store gets it. So we've got a few of those. I have 3 of the Mad Tosh Hue of the Moment Mad May kits. So Madeline Tosh does this, they call it Mad May. And because their company also owns Delaque, they have done kits with Delaque snap bags. So this all comes together. You get the Delaque medium size O snap bag that has, open it up here. You know, it easily fits more than 2 skeins because there are 2 skeins tucked down in the bottom and there's plenty of room still. Pockets on the sides, zipper pocket on the inside. And you get this, a download code for a pattern for this really cool chevron-y scarf. There is also a pattern. I know they posted it on Instagram. I'll have to find it and link it for a crocheted, not really a granny square, but it's little clusters that kind of make it look like a granny square. A crocheted shawl too that would take the same amount of yarn. So each of these kits comes with 2 skeins of their sport weight wool cycle sport. So this is 100% upcycled superwash wool. It does say wash it cool and dry flat. Most yarns that are hand dyed are going to say that because of the vibrancy of the colors. You want to keep those, and so it's best to hand wash and lay flat to dry. But we've got 2 color options left. So I've got one kit that's got the natural base with the neon rainbow, and it's called Pocket Rainbow, which I think is kind of fun. So the kit comes with 2 skeins of the sport weight yarn, a download code for the pattern, the bag, and the cutest little temporary tattoo that says Mad Tosh. I think it's so stinking adorable. I was confused for a minute because then I showed it in there and it was not backwards, but that's because it's temporary tattoo. So looking at it, it actually is backwards, but it won't be when you put it on. And the bag. So kits are $99. I have one of the natural and I've got two that have the gray base, which is called Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows, which I love this so much. And this is what's in the picture there. So this is what you see. That's how it'll knit up. So you'll get these little blips of neon rainbow throughout the scarf or shawl. And their sport weight yarn is 329 yards in 100 grams. So, whoops, that one doesn't go in there. If those or anything else that I talk about are something that interests you, let us know. We will set it aside for you and you can just let us know if you are picking it up here in the store or if we're shipping it out to you. Back to my list. Pop Up, Tilly, Mad May, Mini Minders. Oh, so for those of you who did not get the chance to grab one of the Delaque LYS Day bags, the Love Your LYS blue snap bags that are like this style, but larger in the blue that we had here for LYS Day. I have on order. I made sure I ordered at H&H, which they said meant as soon as they got back to the warehouse that they would start shipping those out to me. So hopefully they are coming soon. Not the blue, but we've got the purple. So they've got three different versions. There's dark purple with light purple print. There is black with neon pink print. And there's one more that I can't remember. But I have all three on order. They are producing more of the blue on blue. Those are going to be here later this summer, and I do have some of those on order as well. But they came out with 3 new colors, and so we've got those. And as a bonus, my order was big enough that we've got some other fun bags coming too that we could only access if we ordered a certain amount. So, you know, I have to get those too. They're really fun. So those are Delaque bags. Those are going to be coming soon. And I can't remember how much those ones are. I think they're 39, but I could be wrong. In looking at what we had on the table here, I realized that I had a couple one-of-a-kind kits that I didn't talk about. I don't think I talked about last time. We put them together for LYS Day. And I know I talked about the Really Clear Designs. Why don't I have the name of it? Mix and Match Cowl, but I don't think I actually talked about the kits that I had. So I've got 3 kits remaining, and the cowl calls for 86 yards of a main color and 43 yards each of 3 contrast colors. So we pulled some Dreaming Color, the main, and it's a worsted weight Mix and Match Cowl. I'm getting ahead of myself, you guys, sorry. So Really Clear Designs has done for the past couple of years their road trip mysteries. This year she's just doing a cowl, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clues. There are a couple clues out now, so you could go to the Ravelry page and take a look at it, see if that's something you're interested in or not. There's not a whole lot because it's just a cowl, and in over 6 weeks, there's not a whole lot of knitting that needs to be done on it, but you can kind of peek at it. There are a few projects that are in progress if you look through photos. But I pulled some kits together. So we've got Dream Color worsted weight minis. These are their City Petites, which is a superwash merino. And then the full skein of Dream Color Classy with Cashmere. So you can't go wrong with that by any stretch. So I've got one set where Cinnamon Girl is the main color. And then there are these three, none of their colors have names on them. So a light blue, a dark blue, and a pink as the contrast with those. And it's a mystery. So you're not going to know what the finished one's going to look like until it's done. But these kits are one of a kinds because these minis were a special buy and it was just kind of a bulk grab and go sort of thing. So it's $50 for the kit. And you have plenty enough. It does call for optional beads. We know somebody that's got some beads just down the hall if beads interest you. So I've got the Cinnamon Girl kit. I've got the Tumbleweed kit. So that's kind of a really pretty antique cream color. And then I've got a green, kind of a cranberry color and a dark gray to go with that. I love this one so much. And the third one is Do Re Mi, this beautiful purpley pink color. And so a light blue, kind of a taupey, I don't even know. I guess it's a taupe color, and then this rosy pink to go with it as some sort of pop of color. So what does it say about it? You're going to need size 5s and size 7 needles, beads if you want them. Be comfortable knitting on the round. It's not overly complicated. Her designs are usually pretty clearly written. And yeah, just a fun little project. So this would be a fun gift for a knitter in your life if you wanted to get them something unique and special. These fun little kits would be great for a hat or something like that too. So again, $50 for the kits. Mix and match cowl. So Chicago, I talked about Chicago a little bit. Deb and I were there for the trade show. I was able to get my hands on the new prototypes of needles from Chigu. They are doing a square needle. They are stainless steel, so they don't have any finish on them. We've had some needles in the past that are square metal needles that have a finish that wears off. These ones do not. They're stainless steel all the way through. They're hollow though. So I was able to get my hands on a size 5 and a size 11. They're very lightweight. They're not heavy in your hands. They have kind of a brushed finish to them, so they're not too slippery. And then Chigu is also coming out with swivel adapters to make your red cords into swivel cords. Those will not be out until much later this year. The square needles, I believe, are coming soon. I didn't actually get a chance to talk to my rep when I was in Chicago. She reps for a zillion different companies, so I didn't get a chance to chat with her. But I do have them somewhere here in the shop if you wanted to stop in and take a look at them. What's the benefit of square needles? A few different things. If you are a really tight knitter, square needles are amazing because it gives you kind of a flat surface into which you can put the tip of your needle without fighting with that round yarn on a round needle. When you have that flat surface, there's a little bit more room in there, and they are calibrated. So even though they may not look the same size, like a size 5 square may not look the same as a round size 5. They're calibrated to get you a similar gauge. Of course, we always are going to say swatch and swatch with the needles you're going to use for your project, especially if it's a different material, if it's a different shape. Those two things could very much affect how you're getting your gauge, how you're tensioning your yarn. The other benefit of the square needles, a lot of people find, is if they have arthritis or they have problems with their hands, a different shaped needle, you're going to hold it a little bit differently. And so a lot of people find it gives them some relief if they end up with hand cramps sometimes from knitting. So we do carry square needles right now by Knit Pro in wood and in metal. But Chigu products in general are products that we really like. We like that they stand behind the quality of their products. So we'll be carrying those too. I did hear a rumor that they are also coming out with their Forte needles, which are the ones with the carbon fiber body and metal tips in a 4-inch length in addition to the 5-inch length, but I don't have a date on those. I posted photos from the Malabrigo 20th anniversary party that Deb and I got to go to. That was a lot of fun. That was like an invite only thing. They had yummy like charcuterie tables set up, and then they had pasta stations and a carving station, turkey carving station. They did a few presentations. They did a few giveaways. So the two owners of Malabrigo are Tobias and Antonio. And I did not realize until we ended up parked at a table with some of their family that they are brothers-in-law. So I think Tobias is married to Antonio's sister, or if it's the other way around, I can't remember. But we got to sit with the wife of one of the guys and the mother/mother-in-law and a couple of the kids, and it was so fun to sit and talk to them. It's even more fun to know that really nobody else in the family knits. They very much appreciate everything that Malabrigo has brought into their lives, and I think the guys are looking forward to another 20 plus years in the business. But they've come a long way from just having one yarn base and a few colors to where they are today. So the new yarn that they launched in Chicago at H&H is called Vientos for their 20th anniversary. They have it classified as a bulky. I would say it's like a chunky yarn, but it's a superwash. And so right now in the chunky bulky area, they have Noventa, which they came out with 2 years ago, which is a bulky single ply. And so this is a 2-ply. It's a really lofty, round, yummy looking 2-ply. Like I said, I would not call this a bulky. I would call it a chunky, 100 grams, 130 yards. So I have a few skeins because we were able to purchase some. And then when we went to their party, we got a gift of a couple skeins as well. So you can we'll have it here and you can kind of squish it and feel it and see. But I would say it's a similar weight to like the Cascade 128 superwash that we have. But of course in beautiful Malabrigo colors. Like this is Arape. This is Viente. Which is beautiful. And what else do I have? Vicenil. I don't know, which is beautiful. I'm probably slaughtering the name of it, but absolutely gorgeous. So that's a new yarn from them. They have, I think, 10 new colors of Rios coming out, and they are all kind of in the flower family. So like Rosalinda is one of their most popular colors in some of the other bases. That's the pink color that I did my Salty Days sweater in. It's real pale, like pinky purpley color, and they have done it in fingering weight and they've done it in Arroyo, but that's one of their new colors in Rios, and then it's all sort of florals. I will try to remember to post photos of the new colors that I took and when we were at the Malabrigo booth. One of the other cool yarns that they are releasing, or colors that they're releasing, is their Caracol yarn, which is their super bulky. It's that a super wash single ply that has like the black thread that wraps around it that makes it look like stained glass. We've had that yarn for a while. They now are taking that and reversing it. So I think they're calling them Caracol blacks. So the bulky single ply yarn is black, and then they dyed the thread that goes around it different colors. So it's a completely different look. But I did take photos of that. I think that'll be a really cool yarn for little cowl projects, like bulky shawls, stuff like that. So, lots of cool stuff from Malabrigo, of course, as always. Chigu we talked about. I teased a little bit that Road Trip Yarns is going to be here for a trunk show for the Middle of the Mitten Yarn Crawl. So the Middle of the Mitten Yarn Crawl goes June 12th through the 21st. And we will have the Road Trip Yarns here for that. It's lots of brights, lots of speckles, lots of fun colors. Um, Holly, I just saw your comment about the black and pink. Yeah, you're gonna need another bag. Good thing you won at the casino. So middle of the mitten yarn crawl. You don't have to be participating in the yarn crawl to purchase from the trunk show. That's just something we're gonna have here during the trunk show while it's happening. So, or during the yarn crawl while it's happening. So, whether you're participating in the yarn crawl or not, you can come in, you'll be able to shop, part of that trunk show. And I believe she's going to have fingering and DK and maybe worsted. I talked to so many people about so many things, you guys. I took notes, but I'm having a hard time keeping it straight in my head. So that's the road trip yarns. And then I also posted a little teaser of Molly Klein Designs, the selfie of the two of us. She's such a sweet, sweet woman. So she's celebrating her 10th anniversary, just like we are celebrating our 10th anniversary this summer. And so I've got her working on a fun little collaboration. She does some really great kits that I guess I can show you guys one of them. Which one should I show? So she does these really cool kits together where she dyes a skein of sock yarn, a mini tonal to go with it to coordinate with a project bag, and then also puts a little stitch marker in there as well. So she had, at the show, she had a bunch of these different designs, but I am working with her to do something exclusive for us for our anniversary slash Heartland Yarn Adventure yarn crawl. Hoping to have it in time for that. So I have to get on the ball and pick out the fabric and make sure that we get that in progress. But very excited. She's got really cool colors. We're going to have the custom color from her, but then she's also going to dye tonals that coordinate with that custom color. So if you're not a sock knitter, we'll have other yarns that you could use to coordinate with it. She's going to do mini skein sets for us too, which is fun. So, yeah, there's lots of good stuff coming up. All right, I think I've probably talked. I'm starting to go in circles a little bit in my mind. So that is it for me tonight. If there's anything I talked about that you have more questions, either put it in the comments or reach out to us. You know how to get a hold of us, either Facebook messaging, call us, stop in, and we will happily answer any questions. If you caught us halfway through and you didn't catch all of it, you can always pop back and watch the live. Is recorded. So if you went to either on Facebook or on YouTube to the live videos tab, it will be posted after the fact. I don't know how long it takes, but not too long. So if there's anything you saw that you're interested in, put in the comments. We try to keep an eye on that after we're done. But you can always call us at the shop Wednesday through Saturday too. And yeah, I hope everybody has a good week and are able to enjoy this beautiful weather. I think it's supposed to rain the next couple days, but you know, that's okay. It'll just green things up and means I gotta cut my grass more than one time this week, I think. Oh, the joys of home ownership. So have a great evening, have a great week. If we don't see you here in the shop, I am back to normal programming. So I should be up and running every Monday at least for the foreseeable future. So have a great week and we'll chat with everyone.